right, Ervits Assessment, we're back. We're here to talk about UFC Fight Night Covington versus Woodley, and then we're going to jump into the massive pay-per-view, UFC 253. All right, so you remember there was 5 fights I made predictions on. I did very well this week. One got 4 of them right. One was a draw, so that's not going to count against me because who picks and says, hey, yeah, there's going to be a draw in this fight? Doesn't happen. So, but we'll go over that. So the first fight I predicted correctly was Mackenzie Dern against Randa Marcos. Now, this fight ended in the first round, and remember I said I thought Mackenzie Dern was going to win. So what happened was Dern was actually going for a kick. She slips and falls. Marcos, I don't know what she was thinking, but she gets on top of Dern. Not a smart move to make against somebody that's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist. And, well, that's what happened. She got Marco's arm. She was just trying to figure out a way to get her in a submission. She did. She gets her in an armbar. Marcos taps out. That's the end of that fight for her. For Mackenzie Dern, I think this is great. I would like her to see maybe fight Michelle Waterson, who won last week. I think that would be a great fight. It would be a great test for Dern because Waterson has good takedown defense. Well, Dern is a specialist, so I think that would be a good fight. So that one will definitely. Mackenzie is somebody to watch for. She's definitely got a lot of talent. Like I said, her striking is getting better, and of course, she's such a threat on the ground. The next fight I got correctly was in the light heavyweight division. It was Johnny Walker against Brian Spann. Now, that was a fun fight for as long as it lasted. Spann actually rocks Johnny Walker a couple times in the fight, and Walker just looked out of it. Somehow he survived. So what happened was Spann, I don't know what he was doing. He was like trying to go for a takedown or something, but he left himself exposed. And Walker's just hitting with elbows, in the side of his head. Now the corner was saying back of the head, but it didn't look like it. Spann, because he gets hurt, then he starts hitting with hammer fist. He's out. Referee stops it. TKO. That's a nice victory for Johnny Walker. Again, where he goes, I don't know. Like I said, he's been so inconsistent. So I'd like to see him fight somebody in the top 10. See, maybe he puts it together and he's getting better. We shall see, though. But he has a questionable chin, so I don't know. We'll see how that fares out for him there. The next fight was, and this is what I was hyped about to see, was rising star prospect Khamzat Chimaev was fighting Gerald Meerschaert. And this fight did not last long at all. Everybody was thinking Meerschaert was going to test Chimaev. He was even saying, man, Chimaev, you're being double booked. You're not going to run through me. This is not going to happen. Well, let me tell you, 17 seconds later, fight over. Chimaev you could see he was like angling. One shot, boom! Folds. Meerschaert just folds like a chair. Out. Cold. He even hit him with a couple punches there, but it wasn't necessary. KO victory for Khamzat Chimaev. He's going to fight. Now, Dana White already said that he's going to probably fight Damian Maia next. That would be a good test for him. I mean, like I said, even though Maia is way past his prime, still a name to see how he does against somebody that has been in there with the best. I cannot wait to see this guy fight more. I mean, it looks like, he already has the skills on the ground. Now it looks like he has one-punch knockout power. I mean, sky's the limit for this guy. I'm thrilled, and I can't wait to see how this guy progresses, and I think everybody should, too. Check that guy out. All right. So the co-main event was Donald Cerrone, the ageless wonder, against Nico Price. Now, remember I said I thought Nico Price would win, and he did look good in the first round. And he was actually winning that fight. He was hitting Cerrone with just shots. I mean, just punches, kicks, everything. But the stupid mistake he made was he poked Cerrone not once, but twice in that first round. And again, now it's hard to say if these things are intentional or not, because they just kind of like paw at the face, which is not smart. I mean, obviously, the fingers are open, but you got to keep the closed fists, especially when you're getting close to the eye there. So referee rightfully took a point away from Nico in that round, which he clearly won, so then that would make it a draw. Cerrone started looking good in the second round and in the third round, so they were just kind of trading back and forth. The fights went to the cards. One judge did have it for Cerrone, 29 for 27. I don't know where they saw that, but okay. And the other two had it a 20-28. It was a draw, so it was a majority draw. For Cerrone, it was nice. He stops his 4-fight losing streak. For Nico Price, I mean, again, I think with the eye pokes, but then I think he also expended too much energy in that first round, going for the kill, and he didn't get it. So I think it kind of slowed down a little bit. But for Nico, I don't know. Again, I don't think he can beat any of the top 10 guys. So maybe he could just make some fun fights. We'll see. Cerrone, they could always run it back. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I mean, I think everybody else would like to see it. And then in the main event, as you remember, I said I thought Colby Covington would beat Tyrone Woodley, who's the former champ in the welterweight division. I was rooting for Woodley, though I knew he wasn't going to do it, and he definitely did it. I mean, he did nothing at all. Covington outlanded him with strikes, kicks, punches. He just was, just throwing good combinations. Kept Woodley guessing. He took Woodley down. He went for takedowns early. I mean, it was just like that all 5 rounds. So when Covington takes Woodley down in the 5th round, I don't know, it was something odd. It seemed like Woodley was like trying to go for a guillotine. It was hard to kind of see what he was really doing. And then, I don't know if he just twisted the wrong way, but you could just hear him scream in pain. Something about his rib. So the ref stops it. It counts as a TKO victory for Covington. So Woodley later, we find out, did have a broken rib. So that's why he was in so much agony and pain. But it wasn't going to matter. He wasn't going to win that fight. I don't know if it would have ended in a TKO or in a submission with the time that was remaining in the 5th round. But either way, it was a clear dominant victory for Covington. As much as I can't stand the guy Covington, he's a great fighter. I mean, the dude's just run through everybody. I mean, he lost to Kamaru Usman, but again, going into that 5th round, it was 2-2, and he was fighting with a broken jaw. So, he did get TKO'd eventually, but, again, he's a hell of a fighter. He's just got so much cardio. He does good mix-up on the, standing up with his punches, his kicks. He might not necessarily have a lot of power, but he knows how to work. And so for him, I think best would be for him to get the winner of Gilbert Burns versus Kamaru Usman. He'll, since Dana White did say that fight was going to happen next for the belt, and Covington should fight the winner of that if he doesn't want to wait. I think that Jorge Masvidal will be a fun match, especially because they have bad blood as well. So I think that would be great to see. But again, he does deserve a title shot. I wouldn't mind seeing it, and hopefully Usman or Burns beat him. But it would be, it'll definitely be fun to watch there. And for Tyrone Woodley, this is 3 fights in a row where he's just been completely dominated, hasn't done anything. You've really essentially lost 15 rounds in a row. If he wants to fight, I would say maybe Robbie Lawler, they can run it back again since they're both past their prime. Woodley should not be fighting anybody in his prime anymore. He's done, as far as I can see it, he's done. He's had a hell of a career. He was a great champion, one of the best welterweight champions in history, in UFC history. So, it's not, for him, or even go to Bellator, or even retirement. But yeah, as far as with the top guys, he's done there. So that was that one. Now, what I'm going to be going over for next is I'm so ready for this weekend. UFC 253. We're going to have 2 title fights. So I'm going to go over 4 fights in that one, and so I'll make my predictions for those 4 fights, and then we'll go into it from there. All right. So the first fight I'm going to be going over is in the women's bantamweight division. It's number 7 Caitlin Vieira against number 13 Sijara Eubanks. Now, Vera has been 4-1 in her last 5 fights. She unfortunately did get TKO'd against Irene Aldana, who's actually fighting next week against Holly Holm in the main event. So kind of bad way to lose, 4-1. So that means, like I said, she's 4-1 in her last 5. Sijara Eubanks, she actually pulled off an upset in her last fight, which actually was like, what, 2 weeks ago? Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. She fought against Julia Avila and won by unanimous decision. So in this fight, I am going to take Vera. Now, the mistake that Vera can't make, again, is, because Eubanks is specializes in striking, is to get knocked out again, of course. But what I do think is, I think Vera will be able to take her down. She'll be able to work from there. No, I'm not sure if she'll get the submission because Eubanks is kind of tough and durable, but I think she will pull it off and she'll get that victory there. So yeah, that'll be my first prediction there. The second fight I'll be going over is in the men's flyweight division. It's number 7 Kai Kara France against number 10 Brandon Royval. So Kai is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He beat Tyson Nam by unanimous decision recently. Actually, pretty much I think his last 4 victories have all gone by decision. Brandon Royval is also 4-1 in his last 5 fights. And he beat Tim Elliott by submission. Now, Tim Elliott is not a pushover. Tim Elliott's a tough, durable guy. And Brandon Royval beat him by submission. That's impressive. I'm actually going with Royval to win this fight. It'll be an upset because he's number 10 ranked. And like I said, Kai Kara is 7 ranked. So I don't know how he'll do it. I don't know if he'll be by submission or stuff. I mean, again, Kai Kara is, he's good at standing up. So again, it'll be one of those things. Maybe can he take Kai down, submit him, something like that, outwork him. But I do see Brandon Royval pulling this victory off. And then that should bump him up to like number 7 in the flyweight division and see how he goes from there. I mean, he's only 29 years old, so excited for that fight. And then here we go, the first of the 2 title fights. The co-main event in the light heavyweight division will be number 1 ranked Dominic Reyes against number 3 ranked Jan Blachowicz. Now, neither of them are the champion, and if you're wondering, well, why that is, okay, so John Jones, as you all know, was the reigning champ of the light heavyweight division for a long time. He's been in a contract dispute with Dana White and the UFC for a while, so we weren't sure, is he going to stay? Was he going to move up to heavyweight? So it seems by the signs of it, he does want to move up to heavyweight, though nothing's been officially signed with him. So he just didn't feel like it was right to just hold the belt in light heavyweight any longer, especially when he was planning to make the jump forward. So he relinquished the belt. So basically, then you have the top 2 guys fighting for him. Even though Jan is number 3, he does deserve it. I mean, he's been beating his opponents up. He's 4-1 in his last fights. He's on a 3-fight winning streak. He just knocked out Corey Anderson with a brutal shot right before that. Reyes, I mean, personally, I think he should have already been champ. I thought he beat John Jones in his last fight. I think it was a tough, close fight. I thought he won the first 3 rounds and then kind of faded out in the latter rounds of 4th and 5, but he was still doing enough. I think I don't buy into this whole, he's the champ, you got to beat the champ. There's nowhere in the rules that it says that. It's every round scoring, and to me, Reyes won majority of those rounds, so he should have been champ. I would have actually loved to see him in the rematch with Jones if Jones was going to stay in the light heavyweight division, but he's not. So I think Reyes will win this fight. Again, John Jones was his first loss, and again, you're talking about the experience that he had, and again, a lot of people in the eyes of people that were watching the fight, fans and everything, thought Reyes won the fight. So the fact that you could beat somebody like Jones, I'm not saying you're going to lose to Jan Blachowicz, but I think you have that experience. You know what it takes there. I think Dominic Reyes will win this fight. Not sure how he'll win it, but he will win. He has to be careful on the ground though, because Jan is good at submissions, and so he should be careful there. And he does have knockout power. But it will be a fun fight. I cannot wait for it. And I think Dominic Reyes will be the new light heavyweight champion. And the main event. Oh, this is great. There is so much bad blood between these two. You have the champion Israel Adesanya against Paulo Costa. Now, both of these guys are undefeated. Yes, undefeated. So someone's will go. So with Izzy, now in his last fight, again, it wasn't that great of a fight. It was against Yoel Romero. He fought smartly, though, because, I mean, you don't want to stand there and trade with somebody like Yoel Romero who has a lot of power. And Izzy's very good at, he's counter-striking. And so he did what he was supposed to do to win that fight, and he did. Paulo Costa, on the other hand, he also fought Yoel Romero in his last fight, which was last year. He won by decision. I thought it was a pretty close fight. It could have honestly went either way. But Costa's he just has tremendous power. I mean, the dude he bulldozes people. I mean, he didn't knock out Romero, but he knocked out all his other opponents before that. The reason why I'm going to be picking Israel Adesanya to win this fight, though it will be a tough fight, and this isn't going to be an easy fight too. The reason why I think he will, though, is, again, he has the movement, counter punch. He'll wait, stick and move. He has punches, kicks. He's very fast. where I think, Costa will just try to blitz him, go after him, just try to knock him out, especially because they have so much bad blood and both have been talking crap to each other nonstop. I think maybe Izzy has gotten into Costa's head a little bit, and Costa will chase and go for that knockout, and that is not a smart thing to do against somebody like Israel Adesanya. If Costa is smart, he'll try to cut off the octagon and then rain punches, because Izzy can get hurt. We've seen him hurt, and somebody like Costa who's got that fight changing power, he's got to be careful there. But I think he'll fight a smart game plan. I think he'll stick and move, and I can actually see going into a late knockout, like a late TKO or unanimous decision. But I do have Israel Adesanya winning it and retaining his belt. So for the 4 fights, again, I have Caitlin Vieira winning, I have Brandon Royval winning, I have Dominic Reyes being your new light heavyweight champ, and then I have Israel Adesanya retaining his title and remaining champ. All right, y'all. So that'll be UFC 253. Check it out this weekend. I promise you it's going to be some fun fights. All right, this is Ervits Assessment. If you could like, comment, subscribe, I would love it. Until next time, peace.
Israel Adesanya he said he wants to fight you next.
I don't know who is him.
But I thought this guy's working on Cirque Soleil because he's so skinny, he's not look like a fighter.
Man, I can kill that guy. He not have a chance against me. Adesanya is the most shameful champion. He's nothing. He's nothing.
It's a new time. I will be the next legend from Brazil in UFC.
Israel Adesanya knocks Derek Brunson out in round 1.
I don't throw in home. I aim and fire. Down the barrel.
What's up, Paul? What message you got for the skinny clown?
I'm ready to kill him.
That's scary man. This is a knockout artist who throws bombs.
It's a personal with him. I cannot hide this. I really want to break the face of Adesanya,
The casuals, they're dumb. They see a beefed up beefcake like that and think, oh, that's the guy. That's the guy. They just want to see me lose, but they're going to be waiting for a long time.
His arms are like a T-Rex. Look at him. I'm no T-Rex. I'm a velociraptor.